We are recording now. Can everyone see the screen? I suppose so. Yes. Okay. Peter, can you hear me?
Yeah, sure, I can hear you.
And you see the screen?
No.
You
the
don't
screen
see.
hasn't come up yet.
Okay, forgot to share my screen. So let me share it again. Voila, you can see it. Okay, let's get going then. So good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the first Impact Investor e-pitching event of the 4IP Group and Impactpreneur Africa Geneva Lusaka series, which is being launched under the theme Improving Access to Capital for SMEs in Africa in general, today with a specific focus on Zambia and Malawi. As you know, Zambia is aspiring to become a regional impact investing hub through the work done by the National Advisory Board for Impact Investing in Zambia. The 4IP Group e-pitching platform is based on the fact that we are based in Geneva, the world's premier impact investing hub, as well as in Lusaka, Zambia, on the African continent. The idea behind this and forthcoming quarterly e-pitching session is to bring these two communities together by sharing vetted impact investing opportunities in Africa, which we have sourced through our close collaboration with African market enablers such as the Impact Hub franchise in Lusaka, with the impact investing community, mainly in Switzerland, but also through our involvement in the Global Steering Group for Impact Investing. Investors based in countries where the National Advisory Board for Impact Investing are located, such as South Africa, Kenya, and the UK, we've also reached out to them. The main aim of the quarterly e-pitching series is to increase the flow of impact capital to African impact enterprises, some of which have transitioned to this status through the adoption of our ESG toolkits, which Peter Chintu will briefly present at the end of today's session. By attending today's event, the impact investor will get an opportunity to listen to a pipeline of investment-ready impact enterprises who have graduated from the Accelerate2030 program, which Julius from the Impact Hub Lusaka will briefly introduce to you after this introduction. The 4IP Group is hosting a series of virtual e-pitching live sessions, each time jointly with their market enabler, that is an incubator and accelerator, doing which 3 to the 4 best graduating enterprises from the accelerator program are featured so they can pitch directly to impact investors in our network, which are not only active in this sector, but are also interested and have experience in terms of investing in Africa. This is the first live e-pitching session. The next e-pitching session will be hosted in partnership with the Kinshasa Innovation Center in DRC in December, followed by other e-pitching sessions, which Peter will talk about. In other words, 4IP Group is seeking to co-host as partners to develop additional e-pitching live sessions throughout 2022 in Tanzania, Nigeria, Ghana, and South Africa. Okay, let me quickly present you the house rule. Please turn off your microphone whenever you're not speaking throughout the entire event in order not to disturb the speakers. During the Q&A, remember to introduce yourself by name and affiliation and keep the questions short. And please do feel free to use the chat box to raise questions as well as to introduce yourself. So let's see if you can see the program, the agenda. Let me move this over here so you can. Okay, so this is today's agenda. Also, as I said, after my my presentation, Julius, who is the manager and co-founder of Impact Hub Lusaka, will make a short introduction to Accelerator2030 as it has been implementing during the summer in Zambia. And then after Julius' short introduction, we'll have 5 pitches from innovative companies that has been through the Accelerator program, plus DFA. Each presenter will be pitching for 5 minutes. After the presentation, there will be a 5-minute Q&A with investors present. And then there will be a 1-minute transition from the slides from the first presenter to the second presenter. During that 1 minute, Julius will very briefly present the presenter. And then we'll go for following the same kind of format throughout the 5 presentations. I will be presenting the last company, DFA, which did not take part in the Accelerator 2030 program. And we'll wind up with a very short conclusion and a few announcements by my colleague, Mr. Peter Chindo. So without any further ado, Julius, over to you.
Thank you very much, Christian, for that introduction and just providing a background to what we have been through and what we intend to achieve. Maybe to just give a background to where we are coming from in terms of the preparation and the steps that we took and led us to where we are. So the startups who are pitching this late afternoon, graduates from the program called Accelerate2030. So Accelerate2030 is an accelerator program that is designed to support entrepreneurs who are implementing SDGs using their business ventures. And as such, we took them through a journey of intensive learning in the past few months, and they did graduate a few days ago. And we thought as a way of giving them further support is to create platforms such as this with 4IP Group, who are our partners, to ensure that they are given an opportunity to be heard by prospect individuals and institutions that can then invest in their ideas, invest in their business ventures, which they are already running. So this platform, we are looking at it as an equalizer or a fair equalizer to people or startups that are looking for opportunities for scaling, because the intention was to prepare startups to scale two things. One is impact, the other is creating jobs. And by giving them this opportunity where they get to pitch and have an opportunity where their businesses could be invested in, we are hoping to see that those two will be accomplished, and at the same time also contributing to the actualization of the SDGs. As you will see, when they start pitching, all the startups that will be pitching today, they have a component of SDGs embedded in them. And they are at a stage where they have already done some experimentation, and they are looking to scale, as you will see when they start pitching. At this point, I'll just like to also take this opportunity to appreciate the team for putting this together. That is Peter and Christian from 4IP, working tirelessly to ensure that we arrive at this session, and also the participants or the startups themselves putting in a lot of work, ensuring that they are ready to pitch to the prospect investors who will be looking forward to meet the entrepreneurs as they pitch. So just showing gratitude to the team for the work that we've put together to ensure that this just come to happen. So to the startups that will be pitching, wishing you all the best as you pitch your businesses. This is different from what we did last time. You are no longer pitching to win Accelerate2030, but rather you are pitching to prospect investors. So it's a different ball game altogether. But all in all, I wish you all the best. And I'll end here so that I don't get to waste much of the time, so that we can have ample time for the startups to pitch. Back to you, Christian.
Okay, Julius, perhaps you could introduce the first speaker while he uploads his pitch. I don't know if you will be in charge of the slides.
So, I do have the slide. Ibrahim, are you going to upload the slides, or I should help you to do so?
No, I'm going to upload it. It's okay. I'm going to upload
all right,
it.
thank you. So maybe you can just make him the co-host.
Yeah.
So Ibrahim, maybe one thing I didn't mention is that so Accelerate2030 attracted participants from 3 countries, DRC, Congo, Malawi, and Zambia. And we had the top 4 coming from 2 countries, Zambia and Malawi. And Ibrahim, who will be pitching, is from Malawi. He participated in the program despite sitting in Malawi, and as he's pitching from Malawi. So Ibrahim, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay.
So you have 5 minutes, Ibrahim, as soon as you've uploaded your slide. So go ahead.
All right. Done? Can you see it?
No, not yet.
My camera is too full. Right, uploaded, maybe it's coming. Done?
No, not yet. Try again, Ibrahim.
Oh, I stop and retry. Okay.
Okay, it's go. Okay, so you have 5 minutes starting from now. Go. Ibrahim, we have the slides. You can start now.
All right.
5 minutes.
This is Ibrahim Mitore. Makala Charcoal Briquettes is our brand. It's Ujinji Invest.
We don't see the slides.
No, it just left like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe the network. Can you see it now?
It's loading.
Maybe in interest of time, Julius, maybe you can upload the presentation.
Okay. Let me just upload the slides in the interest of time, if that helps.
I've already uploaded. Can't you see it?
Okay, we start now.
Okay, we can see them. Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. This is Ibrahim Mitole from the Longway. Our company is Ujinji Invest. Our brand is Makala Charcoal Briquettes. Our vision to transform low-income areas from Malawi, that's from the use and sale of forest wood, which causes deforestation, to adopt the use of charcoal briquettes made from waste in order to preserve our natural forest. That's the solution we are solving. Our problem is high deforestation, which is caused by 3 things. Number 1, the need for cheap cooking energy. That is under the Sustainable Development Goals, which happen to be number 7, affordable and clean cooking energy. Number 2, unemployment among the youth, which happen to be no poverty. And number 3 is loss of 32,000 hectares of forest cover every year. That's number 30, climate action. Now our solution, charcoal briquettes made from the waste, made by converting agricultural residues into sustainable clean cooking energy, meeting 3 things. Number 1, the need for cooking energy. Number 2, the need to conserve forest. And number 3, the need for employment for women and youth. Our product, that's a business model. It's business to consumers, that's to customers. Our revenue streams is selling the charcoal briquettes, the one we are producing. Now our distribution channel is direct contact with retail outlets as well as distributors. Now our markets, by 2020, around 2018, Lilongwe alone had a population of 1 million, whereby 10% was only connected, leaving 90% depending on what charcoal. So far, we have managed to serve only 1,600 households. Now, our addressable market is around 296,427 households, Lilongwe alone. Our competition, our competitors are illegal charcoal traders, Malawi charcoal briquettes, Ngui charcoal briquettes, Malawi briquettes, and also eco briquettes. And also there is a market share of 65%. Our competitive advantage is that the conversion of waste into, and also charcoal briquettes, which is affordable, which is sold at around 23 $23, 23 cents, which is low, 50% lower than ordinary charcoal. It also adds value to waste, thus creating extra income to farmers. Our traction to date. So far, we have managed to produce 20 million charcoal briquettes already on the market. And also we have managed to sell them to 9 retail outlets established out 2 of them at Zalika Refugee Camp where the refugees are. And also we have managed to save 1,600. We have also managed to create jobs of 21 and also extra income for those farmers who are selling us the agricultural residues of around 2,496. And all this, we have managed to generate 18,564 revenue. That's from January to date. This represented that this is the revenue, and there is some figures here which I did not include. That's 20%. That's the net profit. Projection and our ask within two years. Procure machinery to reduce production cost. We also plan to collect around 40,560 tons of raw materials. We also plan to recruit 100 workers, also to make sure that at least 5 tons daily production, also increasing the outlets into the new markets and also replicating other cities and towns, as well as other countries like Mozambique, Malawi, Mozambique, Zambia, and Tanzania. And also, within 2 years, we are planning to get at least for 34,500 monthly revenue dollars. We require this money. That's $175,000 to achieve this above. Now, the use of funds to purchase a drying equipment machine, to also purchase carbonization drums to farmers where they'll be processing them partly and they'll be giving us this 50% to finish the production. To also purchase huge quantities of agricultural residues during the harvest season, since now raw materials that we're using, they're only found during a rainy season, soon after harvest. And also we are planning to expand retail coverage. Marketing and production is going to be used part of it as we're increasing the production, as well as introducing biodegradable packages instead of plastic packages. Now, our team is myself, Ibrahim Lemani Mitole, the founder of the CEO of this company, and also there's Shaib Robert Somba there, that's a raw material sourcing officer. He holds a degree in supply chain management and very competent in establishing partnership with raw materials and suppliers. We have also Zakaria Kali, that's our marketing officer. He holds advanced diploma in management. He's very competent.
Okay.
In running the business.
5 minutes gone.
Thank you.
Great. So, so now it's time for 5 minutes Q&A. If there's anyone that has any questions, anything that you want to have clarified, please go ahead.
All right. Okay. So already I can see Andrea Monti. Maybe you can just go ahead.
Yes. Hello. Thank you. Thank you for the presentation. Could you just explain a bit more about the production? Which kind of materials do you use if the production process is a traditional standard one, or is there something new and innovative?
All right. For us, we use all agricultural residues. That is to say all the legumes. More especially, like right now, the one we're using is groundnuts husks, meaning that the farmers, once they sell the groundnuts, the remaining is where they are left waste, where they just burn and the carbon dioxide goes up there. We are using those residues to make the production, as well as sawdust from the timber. Once those guys do their manufacturing their chairs, the remaining part where they're going to burn, we use them as a production and our raw materials for production.
Okay. Any other questions? Everything was clear? Okay, maybe you could, Ibrahim, you could say that what kind of investor are you looking for? Are you just looking for financial resources to pay for the equipment that you raised, or are you looking for kind of strategic partnership where you can benefit from the investors, network, distribution channels? Can you please maybe clarify what would be your ideal investor look like?
investors who are going to act as a partners, it's okay, they're welcomed. Maybe the only one they're not interested most is those ones who are going to give us a loan. But those ones who are going to be part of the business, we are okay with that, as well as the donation as well.
We still have 2 more minutes for further questions. If you're looking for an equity investment into the company, how big a share of the company are you willing to give up?
Actually, I'm willing to give them 35% for the fact that since I'm the one here on the ground, I'm familiar with the environment and the system we're operating in, then I think that 5% can do them good. Since now the other part is going to belong to me, as I'm also running on the ground, I know the environment where the business is operating, and I'm the one having the team, and I know I'm the one who started the business, of which I know from here to here how best can, and I'm also well equipped with the market as well, like where we're operating from. He says that the other investor is going to be learning from us.
Okay, we have 1 more minute left for any. Peter, is a hand? Someone raise a hand. I don't know. That was maybe Andrea Monti. Is anyone else?
No.
Maybe Ibrahim, you could say something about. I mean, you're operating in Malawi, which is a fairly small country, but it's a country situated in a SADC region. Are you planning to grow the business beyond the domestic market of Malawi? What are your growth projections in the next few years?
Actually, when the use of funds, I've also mentioned that we are planning to open in new other cities, as well as towns, as well as other regions. And I even mentioned that we are willing, if you take it to Zambia, Tanzania, Mozambique, as the nearby countries, as we are preparing as well to enter in other regions. But now the only main problem we are having is capital. We have a limited capital whereby we cannot manage to reach everywhere. And even when we started, we're only tackling the Longo only, and yet Malawi has got a population of 18 million, and yet the Longo is having the population of 1 million. And yet we are even failing to satisfy 1 million people in the Longwe, just because that the demand is too high and our capacity cannot manage to meet the demand. For your information, actually, when we started, we were only 8 months in the business. But for the last 2 weeks, we have entered into new contracts with the poultry farmers, because here in Malawi, at first they were using ordinary charcoal, whereby the government now has banned them from the use of ordinary charcoal, so that the forest should be conserved, no deforestation, and be diverted to the modern charcoal, whereby increasing the demand and the supply, our supply is too low.
Okay,
We cannot manage.
We're talking to a growth-oriented company. Thank you so much, Mr. Ibrahim Mitole. We'll move on to the second company, which is the Smile Money by Derek Thomas. You want to briefly introduce him, Julius, while Derek is uploading his presentation?
Sure, no problem. So Derek is one of the people who are on Accelerate2030. And he brings a unique business solution in that this is a fintech solution, and at the same time, it is designed in such a way that it still captures some SDGs. So there's that strike of wanting to create finance services or financial services to the clients, but at the same time ensuring that it takes care of the environment as well. So there's that fair balance among the 3 pillars of sustainability, which is people, planet, and profit. So I'm hopeful that Derek is going to interest you with his business idea. So he will be loading his slide shortly. Derek, when you are ready, just kindly indicate so that you may pitch. Oh, I can see you are speaking. We can't hear you. You are on mute. Derek?
Eric, we need your slides and you need to unmute yourself.
He's speaking, but we can't hear him.
You need to unmute yourself, Derek.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, we can hear you now.
Are you going to upload your slides or will?
Yeah, it's loaded. We're just going to push it now. Just bear with me a sec.
Okay.
Wait, can you see my screen?
It's uploading. It's loading. Voila. So we have 5 minutes from now.
Okay, just wait a second. Sorry. Everything is kind of a little bit haywire. Bear with me a sec. And can you hear me clearly, by the way?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yes, you're audible.
So we lost you and we lost your presentation. I don't know, Julius, if you have his presentation, if you can upload it, just in the interest of time.
Sure. Let me try to look for the slides.
And maybe also the other speakers, if you can have your presentations ready. So as soon as it's your turn, we don't waste time in between presentations.
Derek?
Hi, Julius, everyone. Listen, I'm just trying to, my presentations have disappeared on my screen. I'm not sure why. Just bear with me a slight second. Okay, here we go. I've got it back.
Okay,
can you see this presentation, everyone?
Yeah, yes, just put it in presentation mode. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. All right. Let me know when we can start?
Yeah, we're starting the timer now. 5 minutes.
All right. Thank you very much. My name is Derek Thomas. I'm the CEO and the founder of SmileFit Technologies, and we have a solution called Smile Money. This solution helps us to create a financially inclusive 2030, and also helps us with achieving the SDGs 1, 5, and 8, which are poverty alleviation, gender and women empowerment, and decent work and decent sustainability. So the problem is that 80% of women and youth in Africa are either underbanked or not banked at all. And the challenges are extremely well known, but what we don't really talk about are the impacts of those challenges, which are poverty entrapment. The poverty cycle just continues because people don't have access to finance to help them out of poverty. The gender gap is widened. The gender inequality gap is widened between women, youth, and disabled. And it also prevents a decent work and economic landscape. So we have fewer entrepreneurs, fewer sustainable businesses, and it's less inclusive because people don't have access to the finance that they need. Our solution is one super app. And we have 3 e-money products. So our app works on USSD, so you can use a short code or you can use a smartphone. But essentially, there are 3 products in one. One is for students, which is a youth solution. One is Savers Wallet, which is a poverty solution, and one is an SME wallet, which is a business solution. With each one, with a youth wallet, it's got features such as extra. Okay, we've moved on. Market scale. The total market scale. The total market. Sorry.
It's City Office.
Please put yourself on mute. Peter, can you put Marvin?
Marvin, please mute yourself, Marvin.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, thanks. I hope you pause that. The market scale. In the first quarter of 2021 in Zambia alone, Transactions were worth $2.11 billion, and that's in three months in the whole country for e-money transfers. We're looking at a market size of 350 million across Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, Tanzania, Zambia, and Malawi, where there's an 87% mobile penetration. Our business model is pretty clear and simple. Our key customers are going to be the women, youth, students, SMEs, anyone interested in savings and earning interest, and of course, banks where we have business-to-business transactions. The key costs are obviously going to be technology compliance, and the revenue streams are going to be through mostly commissions, fees, cash out charges, and consulting work that we do for the banks and the merchants. Our competition consists of two groups. We've got direct competitors and indirect competitors. So for the direct competitors, these are guys that do pretty much what we do, except that they have a different niche. There are guys like LendMePay, Kazang, Ting, Zazu, and our indirect are obviously the banks who try to play a role in this space, but all they do, to be honest, is they just repackage their existing products and put them on an application, and they call it internet banking. There's no innovation. So our competitors are really innovative companies, but where we differ is in the innovation that we provide. So why we're better? Well, our niche addresses women, youth, SMEs, our SDGs and rewards. We've got multiple revenue streams. We've got a fantastic team. We've got a board of five executives, 60% women. And we've got a management team which consists of CEO, CTO, Chief Compliance Officer, Chief Financial Officer. So our traction, we've got a market validation of 2.1 billion in Q1, and MOU agreements have already been signed. We've got customer traction, and we're getting a central bank license within the next 30 days. Our financial projections are for year one, $5.5 billion. In year two, we expect to escalate that to $17.99 million, and in year three, $21.78 million in revenue. Our ask is $2 million seed capital for a 5.5 million revenue return and 20% investor offer in equity, or we're quite happy to accept debt financing. If there are any questions, please shoot ahead.
Okay, perfect. Just within 5 minutes, not including the disruption we had. Okay, so 5 minutes for Q&A. Any questions to this innovative fintech solution? And again, please present yourself.
All right. Okay. So Nasilele actually should have a question. Nasilele, kindly go ahead with your question.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. My name is Nasilele Ngumbichakacha from African Life Financial Services. So my question is, you mentioned that you made a traction of 1.1 million customers so far already. Do you have, or have you recorded any revenue so far? And what does that figure look like?
Hi, Nasilele. Thanks. That's a very good question. So we are not allowed to launch until we get our license. You come from a financial institution, so you obviously understand that the Bank of Zambia, the regulator, needs to issue the license before we can start. So the projections that we've given you are projections that we've had from market research and the field research looking at our clients. So don't forget, we've got three types of clients. We've got students, we've got savers, and then we've got SMEs, small businesses. And what we've got from our research is that we've got 1.1 million ready and available clients. The minute we hit the ground, we're going to be very active on campuses in the market. Your grandma at the market selling tomatoes will be able to use a QR code, which hangs around her neck like a necklace, to collect payments or a short code. So looking at that market, we're very confident that we'll start off with 1.1 million clients, and also looking at the what our competitors have been able to achieve in a very similar market. Does that answer your question, or would you like me to elaborate a bit more?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Any other questions? I mean, here we have a case of a pre-revenue company. So, I mean, that kind of begs the question with regard to the ask, 2 million equivalent to 20%. So in other words, you are valuing your company to be around $10 million US. Can you maybe elaborate a little bit on that company valuation?
Yeah, certainly. So when you look at our year one revenue of 5.5 on a 2 million investment, if we 2x that, we believe that our company is worth 10 million at startup. And the funding that we're looking is startup funding, which will take us to hopefully to a Series A before the end of the year. When our valuation will completely change. So within the 12 months, our valuation will change. But for now, on a 5.5 million revenue at 2x, we're looking at 2 million. We're looking at 10 million valuation, and the $2 million will help us with our rollout and market and sales operations and R&D.
Okay, any other questions? One more minute. Okay, as you know, the fintech is getting increasingly competitive. I could see that you have planning to, among others, to expand into the Nigerian market. I mean, there's a lot of fintechs in Lagos, in Nigeria. How exactly could you maybe elaborate a little bit further on how you differentiate yourself from some of your competitors, particularly in Nigeria? I mean, I know it's an attractive market, but how?
Certainly. Thanks, Christian. So when you look at the Nigerian market, which is the most populous market, and between Nigeria and South Africa, we could say that they're on par in being the most advanced. The Nigerian market started out doing money transfers, but the population presented other opportunities for them. And what's happened is that they've gone into app development. So they've gone into APIs that make it possible for transactions to happen between two devices. They've gone into payment systems that are pure payment systems, and through Y Combinator and different funding partners, they've actually taken a much larger global view. They've reached that maturity curve where they've taken a much larger global view. What that's done is left a window of opportunity for smaller players like us to serve the local population on a direct basis. So the SME company, the SME guy who wants to buy products from a supplier, but he hasn't got the necessary cash, we can do a buy now, pay later facility for that guy, give him the supplies, buy the supplies on his behalf, and he pays us with a little bit of interest after a period of time. That's just one example, but the opportunities are there because a gap has been left in the market as the handful of true fintechs in Nigeria go for the bigger pie because of the investors. It leaves smaller guys like us the opportunity to serve the majority, which are the people right at the bottom of the layer.
Okay, thank you so much, Derek.
You're welcome.
We now move on to the third company, Miyamukwa Books. Julius, if you can briefly introduce the company, and while Julius is doing the presentation, please upload your slides so you can start immediately after Julius has introduced you. Thanks.
Oh, that was fast. Nyamuka is here. Nyamuka Books they're here. That was fast. I think maybe that's why they are in the cloud-based services.
Okay, so over to you. Please go ahead. You have 5 minutes.
Good afternoon. I trust you're doing well. My name is Joseph Chakopo from Nyamuka Books, which is Africa's own cloud-based accounting tool. And so the problem that we discovered as innovators, as problem solvers, is that there is a lack of tools for MSMEs in Africa that allow them to easily track their income and expenditure. And in the course to validate our problem, we did interview a number of MSMEs here in Lusaka, as well as other parts of the country. And this slide here just shows how big our market is. We have a total available market of around $12.8 billion US. And then our serviceable addressable market is estimated at $4.2 billion. And then our serviceable obtainable market is estimated at $500 million. And to counter this problem that we identified, our solution is Nyamuka Books, which is a subscription-based, simple to use, cloud-based accounting tool for MSMEs in Africa, which allows our users to extract income statements, as well as issue invoices, which simply means that they'll be able to track their income and expenditure for the company. And so for the purpose of using this solution, our users would have to pay a minimum charge of $3, $5, and $7 for the basic, premium, and standard packages. We have a number of competitors in the market, some of them being QuickBooks, Sage, Xero, but also accountants are also a competitor because they are offering the conventional way of doing accounting. But we believe that we are better than all our competitors because firstly, we are homegrown, meaning that we understand the pain points of the Zambian users. But also our solution is easy to use and also affordable. We're charging $3 for the basic package, but then on average, you'd have to pay probably around 3,000 Zambian kwacha to hire an accountant. But apart from that, we equally offer a 90-day free trial for our users intending to try out our solution, which allows them to understand what it is that we are offering. Our business model, like I earlier on said, is around a subscription-based revenue model where we charge $3, $7, and $12 for the basic, standard, and premium packages. This is the team that is behind Nyamuka Books. From inception, we have managed to onboard slightly over 140 small businesses, but we've equally been able to facilitate entrepreneurship bootcamps, which have also been used as we've used those entrepreneurship bootcamps as a way to validate our solution and also onboard some MSMEs. But also we recently signed a distributor agreement with one of Zimbabwe's top accounting firms there. We're asking for $120,000 to allow us to increase from 130 users to well over 3,000 users by December 2022. But also this will allow us to attain a monthly revenue around $5,000 US by December 2022. And our projected revenue in the next 5 years is to hit the $1 million US mark. Thank you so much for your time. These are our contact details. Thank you.
Wow, very interesting. This is a service that you're providing. Before I ask my questions, any of the investors who are with us today who have any questions regarding this presentation, please go ahead and please introduce yourself. Okay, while people are thinking, let me ask the first question then. You are saying that you have 140 small businesses onboarded already, and you're aiming to have 3,000 by the end of 2022. Are those additional clients all going to be within Zambia, or as you know, currently they are negotiating the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement phase number 2, which is about trade and services, meaning providing accounting services as cross-border service. In other words, you can sit in Lusaka and provide accounting service to SMEs in Senegal or in Egypt and so on. Have you taken that into consideration with regard to your 5-year projected revenue growth? It seems quite conservative.
All right, thank you so much for that question. Firstly, we are deliberately focusing on consolidating our market share here in Zambia, but beyond that, we're equally looking to leverage our recently signed distributor agreement with one of the top accounting and consulting firms in Zimbabwe. So through these 2 channels, we hope to hit our mark, but beyond that, we are equally looking to hit that mark using the traditional as well as digital marketing efforts that we are putting in place as a company.
So in other words, you could say that this is a kind of an underestimation of your growth potential.
Pardon me?
The 1 million mark is an underestimation. That in theory, if once this free trade area, trade and services agreement is signed, your market potential expands significantly when you talk about the addressable market. No?
Yes, we are certainly confident that we'll be able to go well beyond that. But in the next couple of years, after we have consolidated our market share here in Zambia, we do have plans to scale up and target other African countries as well.
Okay. Any other questions? We still have 2.5 more minutes for clarifications. You said that your accounting service is mainly for SMEs. Are there any other potential groups besides SMEs that could buy your service?
Well, thank you. We are deliberately targeting the MSMEs because usually there's other enterprises, or rather the sector whose accounting books in shambles, and research has shown that MSMEs account for do employ quite a number of people in our continent, and so I think if we're able to help them with having their books in order, it would even increase their impact in society.
What are the major risks as you see them, and how do you intend to mitigate the risk if you're going to achieve your expansion objectives?
I think some of the risk has been I think it's been the lack of interest with regards to adoption of innovative solutions. Yeah, but then we're hoping to be able to raise more awareness with regards to just to ensure that there's this ease of adoption from the Zambian as well as African market.
And in terms of overcoming that, let's say, lack of bringing new companies on board, what role could an investor investing into your company help? How do you see that partnership rolling out?
With regards to our investment, we believe that having investment will help us firstly scale up on our marketing, which will then allow us to reach more people. But secondly, it also allows us to invest in our technology, which would then make the user experience even much more better than it is currently.
Okay, thank you very much, Joseph. Any last burning question before we move on to company number 4? We still have 15 seconds left. If not, you have the contact details, both to Joseph as well as for P Group for further clarification. So, okay, let's move on to company number 4. If you can start preparing your slides while Julius is making the brief introduction. Over to you, Julius.
Actually, he did ask that I pitch, I beam the slides for him. Could you just make me co-host so that I'm able to do so?
Yes, go ahead, Julius.
All right, thank you.
Hello, everyone. Julius, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Your slides are on the screen. So once you're ready, just actually, we are ready for you. Just give us a signal if you're ready so that we start timing you.
Okay, thank you very much. And thank you, everyone. My name is Shikanoa from Mukomila Consultancy. We are a producer of cooking oil. Next slide. Next. So our vision is to have 85% not only of Zambians actually, but also across Africa, eat healthy and nutritious cooking oil that we produce. Next slide. Okay, the problem that is there that we've as a company have noticed is that most of consumers of cooking oil, not only in Zambia, but across Africa, consume cooking oil that is not healthy and that is very, very expensive. Next slide. So our solution is in the production process of the cooking oil. We are producing a cooking oil that is affordable, that is nutritious, and so healthy. Next slide. So, okay, this is, okay, our team comprises of 4 people. There's Felix Mbeu, is our team leader. We've got Miriam in management. In production, we've got me in sales and marketing. We also have Wembia Mukuka in finance and accounting. Next slide. So the competition, not only in Zambia, but I think across Africa, in Central and in Southern Africa, is dominated by many, many players in cooking oil. There are about 15 players in Zambia, that none of these are actually dominating the market, either in brand royalty or even price-wise. Next slide. Our ask is $4 million US, which is going to be injected in 3 phases. First phase is 1.4. Second phase, that is second year, 1.3, and the third year, 1.3 as well. Next slide. So our ask for the 4 million in the first injection is going to go to a full set of production equipment, which is machinery and setting up of a plant. In the first year, we are estimating to have a revenue of 6 million, which is not a slide, I know, 6.5 million. Also, in the third year, we're estimating to garner a revenue of 13 million. So in the first injection of 1.4, this total amount is going to go not only in the equipment in the plant, but also in the raw materials. In the third year, as we scale up production in full capacity, we're injecting the 1.3 million in raw materials, also in containers for packaging, which is going to be also the same in third year. Next slide. Okay, so thank you for your time, and you can contact us on these contacts.
Okay, that was definitely within the 5 minutes time limit, so that should give us more ample time for Q&A. So any questions from the investors with us today? Okay, let me start then. You were saying that you are looking for $4 million US, and you've shown what the money is going to be used for. what does that correspond to in terms of the share into the equity share into the company?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Yeah, the 4 million. If a venture capital fund give you the $4 million, how big a share of the company will that company get?
Okay, so as we are deliberating with the team, the percentage share in the business was coming to 35% of ownership, but we were also considering a strategic investment where maybe it would be a convertible loan where the loan itself could be converted into shareholding in the near future.
Okay. Any other questions?
Hello, this is Jeremy Dobson from EMGA. Christian, nice to meet you.
Good to see you, Jeremy.
So I'm just so that everyone knows, I'm not actually an investor, but I work as a investment bank. We're an advisory company, so we bring capital to companies. We work with many DFIs and also multilateral funds. And our latest deal has been raising capital for a very large bank based in Brazil. We raised $300 million, but our company began in Africa many years ago. And, we started off with small capital raises around about $5 or $10 million before going into Eastern Europe and expanding into Asia and Latin America. So I'm not quite the right guy, but I am intrigued, and I think it's an interesting presentation. But what I'd like to know is that I think a fairly obvious question. There's 15 different brands in existence in your country. Why is people going to buy yours over others? I mean, what's going to be the advantage that you'll have over the competition?
Okay, that is a great question. So our unique selling point is on healthy and nutritious. All these companies process their cooking oil in a standard way. They go through in the purification process, actually the last stage. They do the degumming, they do the dewaxing, they do the deodorant, and they do the decoloring. So this reduces the nutritious level of the cooking oil. So one of our unique selling point is the health part, where actually we get to, there's a way we are doing the decoloring and the deodorant that's different from what these companies are doing. So the market itself is not characterized with brand loyalty, like people prefer Delight or this brand or any other brand. Mm-hmm. It's an open market. The main key that people would buy like a different brand is if that product is more cheaper than any other brand, and that goes with a different packaging as well.
Okay, and so have you managed to, I mean, is this backed by any studies? Have you done marketing on this to show to any potential investor that, having this price advantage will, I mean, is it something that has been, is there some sort of study that says this?
Okay, so there's no study that we are aware of that has been done in terms of the competitiveness of cooking oil brands, these many cooking oil brands in the market, especially in Zambia. But from our own research, before we specifically went into cooking oil, because we're doing many other products, our research indicated that actually it's only the pricing part that people consider. You can put different brands, different prices, they'll pick the cheapest. If you put them all get the same price, they'll just get any. They don't have any brand loyalty or they prefer any brand. It's nothing like that.
Okay, and presumably, I mean, if you started off and got this going, I mean, you're going to have quite a lot of capital expenditure and startup costs, but you're going to have smaller margins because you're going into a fairly crowded marketplace. So is there any sort of study that you've done to sort of show that to any potential investor?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. So we've got a unique niche market that we we've been servicing, actually, this is the bakery industry. So the bakery industry prefers cooking oil that has only gone through degumming and dewaxing, not cooking oil that has gone through deodorant and decoloring. So this market, we've tried by all means to keep it a secret, not branding a product or market in such a way, but we've maintained it quiet and supply it quietly, because we want to dominate this niche market, because there's a huge number of bakeries in a country, not only in Zambia, but also in the neighboring countries around Zambia. So this is one of our key areas that we want to service.
Okay, that's all from me.
Thanks a lot, Jeremy. Great questions. And thank you, Noah, for your presentation. So while we are presenting the last company, it's Development Finance Associate, the SME Development Fund. If you can please start uploading your presentation, Trevor. Let me very briefly introduce you. So Trevor Hambai, he's the Senior Managing Partner of Development Finance Associates. He has an extensive global experience spanning over 20 years, both within the private sector and quasi-government organization, which includes even working for the UN. He's a financial analyst, and he's been doing PhD research in the US, and he has been advocated for African continent economic emancipation through improved access to finance for SMEs. So I can see we have the presentation ready. So without any further ado, are you ready, Trevor? Trevor, can you hear me? Are you ready? I think you might be on mute.
Okay, I'm good now.
Okay, go ahead, Trevor. Maybe put it in presentation mode, your slides. Okay, perfect. Over to you, okay. 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Christian. Good evening, everyone. So my name is Trevor Hambai. I'm the Senior Partner for Development Finance Associates. Development Finance Associates, or DFA, is a social enterprise fund manager that is focused towards creating enhanced practical financing solutions for women, youth, and underserved SMEs. We do this through providing risk mitigation, firstly from the funding perspective, and secondly from the business side. We balance this on our 3C, which is collaboration of ecosystem players. Then we cluster the SMEs that we support to reduce the cost of supporting them. But then we also consolidate the products that they produce to increase access to market. Today I am pitching for an SME Guarantee Investment Fund. Basically, we're looking to be able to get funding that we will put into a term deposit with a financial institution, and we'll utilize the interest out of there to finance the projects. And this is going to create an innovative investment platform, which is guaranteed. But the general idea is firstly to mitigate the currency risk, consolidate the ticket size, as well as provide reduced business risk. This is going to support SMEs that are focused towards economic impact investment. And we use a diamond risk spread financing model. We are focused to 3 main sectors, which is green energy, agricultural value chain, and export-based businesses. In spreading the risk of actually financing, firstly, we have the term deposit, and secondly, we provide a credit guarantee. We hedge the financing, ensure we have got an insurance cover to do this, and then we have got a structured, consolidated market access to minimize business failure. Our ask for today is for $20 million, with a minimum of $7.5 million to get the financing. The difference comes in after 6 months. We're looking at either debt. We're also open to equity, or a blended of the two between debt and equity. The financing is going to support 600 SME clustered agricultural businesses, which we hope to be able to finance annually and grow this to 6,000 over 5 years. It will also support 300 SME cross-border traders in terms of providing them pre-export finance. This will grow to 1,000 in 5 years. We are looking to be able to bring on board 60 manufacturing companies that are producing export commodities and grow this to 300 in the next 5 years. The general idea is that it's going to be risk mitigated leverage, and we will leverage the financing so that it's going to support $300 million of exports on an annual basis. We're looking at a 6-year term with a guaranteed minimum return of 8%, and we can also negotiate up to 30% in terms of equity. Interest will be paid in biannual coupons, and in terms of security, we'll provide a certificate of deposit for the funds and a credit guarantee if it's required. So in terms of the platform, the Guaranteed Impact Investment Platform is what you see is A, is the investment fund that comes in and that is locked into a term deposit. We will use the interest return on B, which is around 21%. So we're actually investing around 21% on an annualized basis. In 5 years, the full amount will have been invested, even though it is still sitting in the bank. We can provide up to 30% equity with an 8% interest return. We're looking at financing 3 sectors: export-based businesses, scalability of agriculture of 800 SMEs on an annual basis, and we'll leverage 80% to be able to create the financing, pre-export finance. The businesses itself who are clustered, so it reduces the risk. We provide them 24/7 capacity building support to reduce business risk. We consolidate market access to be able to access the market, and we also get insurance production cover to reduce the risk. And then we're generating export income stream that reduces the foreign exchange risk. We're looking at initially for the first year investing around $2 million in 4 different projects. That is the export platform, and the other ones are all green energy and green climate change projects that are looking at organic products. In scalability, what you see that is that we're looking to be able to take this to supporting 1,000 SMEs that are all doing cross-border trade in 9 different facilities, and they should be able to generate $360 million on an annual basis by the time we get to the 5th year. From the agriculture perspective, we're looking at 20 diversified value chains to support 4,000 small-scale producers, producing around $36 million on an annual basis. In terms of investment impact, we're looking at creating 40,000 jobs, 240,000 rural households will be supported, and consolidating 7,000 businesses to be able to work towards having to grow into the $360 million on an annual basis with a net income of 8%. We have a website, www.zambiadfa, where you'll find any other projects that we are supporting that are standalone, that are not consolidated. They're also very useful to look at. It also has details of the management team, and that is the email you can reach us. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much for the presentation, Trevor. It was a little bit over 5 minutes, but that's fine. It was very interesting, very exciting what you're doing. So anyone would like some clarification as to what Trevor just presented, please raise your hand and or just present yourself. Okay, maybe while people are okay, Jeremy, you want to say something?
Yeah, no, sorry, I was fiddling around trying to get the unmute off. So this is really interesting. You're talking about getting it up to $360 million in how many years?
That's in 5 years.
5 years, okay.
So what we see is that we're actually trying to get the $20 million to sit as the pre-export finance. And generally speaking is that you want to be able to get to the point where you're actually financing up to $20 million on a monthly basis for the projects that we support, because then we are looking at the 1,000 small-scale cross-border traders we were supporting. And on $20 million a month, we're looking at 360 for the year.
Okay, and the tenors on this financing you're giving to the exporters, what is it?
Sorry, ask the question again.
What's the tenor on the loan duration on the financing you're giving to these guys?
So the turnaround is 30 days. This is transaction cost, really. Yes.
Okay. And has there been, I mean, I presume you've got demand for this, but is there any sort of demand for longer term financing from these guys, or is it just this very, very short term financing?
So the export one that we're actually wanting to start with is got a shorter term in terms of financing. The longer one that takes slightly longer is the import one, which we can also handle when we develop. The import one takes slightly longer than 30 days to execute. It can be up to 3 months in terms of timeline, and that then increases the cost.
Sure. Okay. Now you mentioned about guarantees. Who's providing those guarantees?
So we're doing this through the local bank. So the first thing is that in terms of the guarantee is that the funds that we actually receive go into the financial institution, and they'll provide the first guarantee on those funds. The second one that comes in is obviously the exchange risk that would come in. We'll be looking for a credit guarantee that is coming from an insurance bond.
Okay. Interesting.
Maybe you want to elaborate a little bit, Trevor, on the uniqueness of the kind of a cluster approach that you are putting forward, since there's so much focus on how to finance the missing middle. I think you have found a solution to that. What makes this solution so unique, and how could that be adopted or scaled up to other countries similar to Zambia?
So what you do find in terms of the challenge that we have in terms of financing the SMEs on the local market here is that 93% of the market is SMEs, and they've got a very high rate of failure. So what we have found is that if we can cluster them and give them the technical assistance 24/7 to be able to support them, firstly from production, processing, and then access to market, it really reduces the risk that is associated with financing them. And if we are able to guarantee the market for them, it also ensures that they can achieve competitive success. So really what we're saying is that we have found a way to be able to finance the SMEs that are requiring very small ticket sizes, that if you're looking at production, we start from $300 in terms of financing these small ones, but we get to $1.5 million when you actually finance the whole value chain for the SMEs that we're going to support in one project.
Okay, and so are you're working, you said you're working with the local bank. Why aren't they supporting this, the local bank? I mean, what's the value added that you're bringing? Is it just this idea of clustering, de-risking? Is that what it is?
That is the value that we're bringing, but we have a specific challenge with the local banks here. Firstly, is that they have got no appetite to finance these small projects because of the fact that they have got an alternative to be able to finance, to take their money into treasury bills and get a higher return of around 30%. Whereas what we're really looking for is social investment that has got a lower return in terms of interest. And this is the reason why we're actually trying to find external funding to do this.
Okay. Have you spoken to any development finance institutions about this?
Yes, I have. 2 years waiting.
What's been the sorry, go ahead.
2 years waiting period before we can get a closure into any contract.
2 years?
Yes.
Who are you speaking to? You're speaking to the wrong guys. Mind you, it took us just over a year to get this thing done in Brazil, but anyway.
Okay.
Okay. All right. It's interesting. I've got no further questions, but I wish you the very best.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so we've come to the very end. So just before we wrap up, Peter, over to you.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Christian. So, well, I don't want to waste people's time, but I think I would like to thank everyone for taking their time to be a part of our first e-pitching session. And many thanks go to Impact Hub Lusaka for taking all the time, as well as effort into the pitching. They did a great work on the enterprises. And well, coming back to us as 4IP Group, in order to help SMEs, as far as capacity building is concerned, we have developed a 7-step toolkit, which take the form of workshops that help businesses transition in what can be categorized as impact enterprises. And this is deliberately so that we can be able to help them identify some of their environmental as well as social motivations and targets. So if you would like to get to know more about our ESG toolkit, I'm more than available and ready to engage with you. So I'm just going to go ahead and post my email, share my email in the chat box. And then, so from here, our next pitching session is going to be held in December. So we look forward to working with all of you in order to see to it that impact capital is actually flowing into this part of the region. So you can actually contact me for more and for participation into our next pitching session. And we're also going to be hosting our next hybrid event focused on Tanzania as part of our Investor Circle series. So thank you so very much. Christian, over to you.
Yes, I think that's it. Thank you so much for your participation. The recording of today's event will be uploaded on our YouTube channel probably by tomorrow. And as I said, it will be shared for the presenter with the Impact Hub in Geneva in hope that one of you guys will qualify to be part of the global phase of the Accelerator program. And thank you so much, Julius, for the great collaboration that we had with for Impact Hub Lusaka. It's a great pleasure to work with you, Julius, and your team. And we look forward to continuing our collaboration with the Impact Hub Lusaka as we're moving forward to making Africa an attractive destination for impact investors. Thank you so much. Have a good evening and see you soon.
Thanks a lot. Really enjoyed it, Christian. Thanks very much indeed.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you and bye.
Bye.
Thank you and bye.
Bye-bye.